If you have experience going through a divorce, it will be one of your life's biggest transitions. And sometimes, despite the reality of it, we just can't accept it. But what if I told you that understanding why you're stuck in this refusal is the key to you moving forward? See, no one gets married to get divorced. So just know that this is a healthy response to the thought or initiation of divorce. Okay? And so if you are currently experiencing this in your divorce recovery journey, I want to encourage you to be kind to yourself and give yourself grace. Okay? And so with that being said, in this video, I am going to explain 4 reasons why you may be refusing to accept the reality of being divorced, and also some steps that you can take to overcome them. I'm also going to explain how you can use your sun placement and your rising sign in your natal chart to help you to overcome the biggest reason why many women have a hard time accepting the reality of divorce. Okay? And so if you are new to me or to the channel, hello and welcome. My name is Katrice and I am the Natal Chart Navigator, and I teach newly divorced women how to use their natal chart to heal and move through the 6 stages of divorce easier and with more grace. And for those who are returning, hello and welcome back. Okay? And so let's jump into it. So when you refuse to, or when you have a hard time accepting your divorce, more often than not, it's likely because you're holding on to something deeper. Okay? And so we're going to explore these reasons together. Now, let me know in the comments, are you currently having a hard time with accepting your divorce? Okay? Let me know in the comments. I can tell you, for me, I went back and forth a lot with accepting the divorce because I was under the thought that, I didn't believe in divorce. I felt like once you got married, that was it. It was a lifelong commitment. But things happen, and so that was a belief that I had to re-examine, because even though nobody gets married to get divorced, you also don't get married to suffer. Okay? And so it was a belief that I had to re-examine. And so maybe, if that's a belief that you have as well, that might be one reason why you're having a hard time with accepting your divorce. Now, another big one that a lot of women have as to why they refuse to accept the concept of divorce is, or even getting divorced, filing the paperwork, is fear of the unknown. Okay? Uncertainty after divorce is scary. And so your life is going to be turned upside down and inside out. And so it's completely natural for you to resist stepping into an unfamiliar life, especially if you have children. Okay? But this is where the magic lies, because embracing uncertainty can also mean embracing new possibilities. Okay? And so this is where a perspective shift can be the best thing that you can do for your mental health. Okay? And so in order to help you to get over the fear of the unknown, you can make a list of new experiences that you can explore. Okay? What is it that you think life will look like after divorce? Okay? Even small steps like this can reduce the anxiety that you have about the future. And it can be something as small as I'll have less laundry to do. Okay? Finding the silver lining in the situation is such a powerful, powerful thing when it comes to helping you to move forward. Okay? Now, another reason why you may be refusing to accept divorce is unresolved emotions. You may have some unresolved emotions. And so refusal often comes from unresolved emotions: grief, anger, regret. Okay? And so facing these emotions directly rather than avoiding them can be incredibly healing. Okay? And so journaling can be incredibly powerful in helping you to sort through and process your emotions. Journaling was one of the things that really helped me to get out exactly how I was feeling. Okay? And you don't have to journal every single day if you don't want to. But when the emotion starts to overwhelm you, writing them down, getting them out can really be helpful. Also, another tool that you can use is what I used to do. I would go in the bathroom and I would just like talk. I would be in the bathroom by myself and I would just talk. And that was another way to help me to get out my emotions. Okay? Also, music can also be a powerful tool as well, especially if you have a water sign on your 8th house, especially if you have Pisces on the 8th house. Music can really help you to get out, to understand what you're feeling. Because sometimes what I found is that you cannot put your feelings into words all the time. But you can listen to a song and that song can be like the perfect song to help you to really tap into how you're feeling, right? It's as if the person singing the song is inside of your head, right? And so music can also be a powerful tool to help you to get it out. Now, you may also want to consider speaking with a trusted friend, family member, or therapist to help you to acknowledge and release these feelings. Okay? All right. And so the next one is, and this is a big one that I've seen a lot of reason why women will put off starting the divorce process for a long time, right? Until it just gets to a point to where they can't take it anymore. And that is societal pressure and stigma. Okay? The pressure to maintain a certain image can keep you from not only accepting your divorce, but actually filing the paperwork. Okay? Because you don't want to look as if you couldn't handle being married, or you don't want to look weak. But you have to remember that your well-being matters more than others' perceptions, because especially if you're doing it because maybe within your friend group or your social circle, everybody's married and everybody seems as if they're in happy, loving relationships. You have to remember that you don't know what's going on in people's homes. Okay, you only see what they allow you to see, right? And so you can't manage other people's perceptions, but you also can't let their perceptions determine your choices. Okay? And so you want to make sure you surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your authenticity over your appearance. Okay? All right. And then this last one is the biggest one, okay? I think this is the one that really, I think everybody goes through this when it comes to divorce, and that is the attachment to the identity of being a wife. This one is really, really huge, okay? For you, your marriage may have been more than a relationship. It could have became a part of your core identity. You know, like how when when women get married and they be like, the first thing they're like, "Oh, that's my husband. I gotta ask my husband." You know, they're just so excited to be married, to be a wife, right? That wife title, it becomes more than a title. Like they embody that. It becomes a part of their identity, and they tend to not have a identity outside of being a wife, depending upon how long they've been married, right? Marriage does hold a much deeper meaning for women than it does for men, okay, in most instances, okay? I can't say that for all, but in most instances it does, okay? And so when that changes, it can really feel like you are losing yourself, okay? And so recognizing this can help you to gently redefine who you are outside of marriage. And so to help you to recalibrate back to who you are energetically, this is where you will look at your sun and your ascendant sign. And the ascendant sign is also the rising sign, okay? So the first house in your natal chart, that is the house of self. It's your physical, it represents your physical body, okay? And so this is where you will find your ascendant and your ascendant sign, okay? Now the ascendant is the exact degree of the sign that was rising on the horizon at your time of birth. Now degrees are an important aspect of astrology, but it's a more advanced level of astrology. And so for the purposes of using the natal healing method, you really don't need to focus on the degrees, but I just want to make sure that you understand the difference between the ascendant and the sign, the ascendant sign, okay? So your rising sign represents your personality, your persona, your physical appearance, your talents, your psychological traits. And so it's the area of the chart that most closely represents the physical you, okay? And so it's how you show up in this thing that we call life, okay? And so your personality has a lot of influence on your identity. Now your sun placement is who you are at your core level. It's your soul's expression of purpose, identity, creativity, consciousness, and vitality. And so by tapping into the energy of your sun and your rising sign, you can recalibrate yourself back to who you truly are, okay? Remember, wife is a title, just like mother is a title, just like whatever you do for work is a title, okay? But that's not who you are, okay? So say for example you have Leo in the first house. That means you are a Leo rising, okay? And say your sun sign is in Virgo, okay? So you are a bold and confident, and you have a regal presence, but you are also practical and organized, and you're very service driven, okay? You're also very analytical, okay? And as a Virgo, you really get so caught up in taking care of everything else that you forget who you are and that you need to be taken care of as well. And you know, this can be any sign, but you know, just for the purposes of this example, okay? And so You want to practice expressing your natal energy without being attached to the title, especially for if you are a Virgo sun, because Virgo is such a service-driven sign. You want to make sure that as you are giving, that you are receiving. Okay, so you want to look at your sun sign and your rising sign to help you to get back to who am I as a person, and not the roles I play as a person. Okay, who am I as a person, not the roles that I play as a person. Okay, and so this action step for this, I want you to reflect on what parts of yourself have you connected exclusively to your marriage. Okay, and how can you reclaim or rediscover these parts independently from you being married. Okay, this here is something that I want you to journal. Okay, journal this out, because this is going to take you to really sit with yourself and really reflect on this. Okay, because you need to help you to be able to move forward in life. You have to disconnect yourself from the identity of wife, because you're no longer a wife. But just because you're no longer a wife, it doesn't mean that you're less valuable. Okay, because wife, again, is just a title. It's not you. It's not your identity. It's a title. Okay. All right. So those are the reasons why. I think I may have gave 5 reasons, but those are the reasons, why you may be refusing and in denial to accept your divorce. Okay. Denial is like the first step of when you go into divorce. And I shouldn't say first step, because the steps are really not fluid. The first step for some women may have been anger, for others could have been denial, and so it really is fluid. But this is a part of the denial step, and so I just wanted to get this out so that if you are in this step, or if you are feeling this, then you can understand why you're feeling this and know that it's normal. Okay, so understanding why you refuse to accept your divorce, it isn't about judgment. Okay, so you're not judging yourself. It's about compassionately exploring your inner world. And so by identifying what's keeping you from moving forward, you're now empowering yourself to heal, grow, and step confidently into your next chapter. Okay? All right, so that is what I have for you in this video. And so if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate you. My intention is to help you to navigate your divorce recovery with more clarity, ease, and grace. And so if this video resonated with you, please share your thoughts below. Let me know which one of these reasons resonated with you more. Okay, let me know. I'd love to support you further. And if this video provided you with tremendous value, then give it a like and share it with another divorcee that could use some guidance and community while navigating her recovery. Also, if you want to continue to learn how you can use the natal healing method for your divorce recovery and be a part of the Understanding You University community, then make sure you subscribe and click the bell so that you get notified when I upload new content to the channel. And don't forget to check the description for additional tools and resources if you want more guidance outside of the content I provide. Okay, you can grab your free copy of the Natal Healing Method, my ebook from breakup to brilliance, and so that link will be in the description of the video. Okay. And so until next time, remember that possibilities are endless. And if you can see a new future in your mind, then you can definitely experience it in your reality. And that should make you smile, because you are the only one who creates your reality. Okay? Have a good one.